Hi, I'm DC, and today I'm going to show you how to make these three types of curves. A ramped down curve or up curve with a small gap that can be filled with a beam. Look at how to make a nice slow sweeping curve horizontally. And we're going to look at a ramped down curve which has no beams and a small step, but vehicles can drive over it quite safely. We'll start off with a nice simple one with the horizontal curve. Fun fact, this is the second time of me recording this video because the first time I was on the wrong scene. We're going to go out 4 foundations here. Now I'm going to delete the first one just to make life a little easier. Now I'm doing this from the outside edge because that's where we want the snap point to be and to be flush on this corner. So the outside edge of your curve. I'm going to grab myself a beam, lining up to the middle of the foundation. I'm going to line up to the edge here on this outer edge, and I'm going to move it in just 1 snap point or 1 meter to click. I'm now going to grab a foundation. I'm on zoop, which is great. I'm going to press H to hold it, and then I'm going to nudge it down 4 and left 4, just like this. There we go. I'm going to zoop that to the edge. There's your first foundation in. We can do that again. We're going to grab ourselves a foundation and go out 4. I'm going to delete the first one. Grab our beam in the center outside edge. Line up to the edge here and go in by 1. I'm going to press H once I've lined it up on the end of the beam and bring it down 4 and across 4. I'll do it one more time for you. Grab our foundation, go out 4, delete the first foundation and grab a beam. Put that on the middle outer edge, line it up with the middle outer edge here and bring it in by 1. We're going to snap our foundation to the beam point here, and you can see that is in the middle of the foundation. Press H and nudge it down and across. There we have it. Now the further out you build, if I went out 10, the further out you build, the more gradual the curve will be. If I grab the beam and come all the way down here to the end, now this is a little tricky because you can't always see where you're looking, so you have to eyeball it. So I'm going to aim on this point here, and you see as I go across, you can see it just snaps in and you disappear in the distance. I'm going to click and I'm going to place a foundation. You see I made a mistake there. Not to worry, I can press H and I can still nudge it over. That works because when it's a 2-step process for nudge, when you press H and hold something to then move it into a different position. Right, I've built out my 10. I've deleted the end one. We're going to bring this beam to the end here and go across. Now make sure you are on freeform for this. If you're not going to be able to get the fine snap points. Come down here, we're going to place our foundation. We're going to nudge it again, and we're going to do that. Delete everything else. And you can see how now I've taken a nice curve and it's actually getting slower and slower and slower, more gradual. If you was to click here, I'm going to change to default mode. If you hold Control, which allows you to move the foundation and snap it around. If you put that foundation right on top of this one, if you do that, you can see what a default rotation looks like versus this. See how gradual that is? Hopefully you can see that. We'll do the gradual downward slope. Now, I've placed a foundation here because, funny, I have already recorded this video. You just didn't get to see anything. We're going to go out. Oh, I wasn't on zoop. Let's start on zoop, shall we? So let's make sure we're on zoop. I'm going to go out 6, I think. 6 seems like a good number. I'm going to delete the first foundation. Now, the principle's the same as the other. We're going to start with a foundation on the end, and we're going to bring this all the way down here to the end here. Now, you can see the beam is going right through the middle of the edge of the foundation. Snap it over 1, you see it disappears into the foundation. Click. We'll grab ourselves a ramp. We're going to snap it to the end of the beam. Now, usually the ramped foundation is the wrong way round, so you'll have to rotate it, normally twice. Press H to hold it. Now we're going to nudge it down 4, and we're going to nudge it across 4. And we're going to drag across and click, and that's our zoop. Now I'll do that one more time for you here. So we're going to grab a foundation on the outside edge and bring that down here like that. 6 out. We're going to delete our first foundation. We're going to grab ourselves a beam. We're going to click the beam on the end, and we're going to bring that to this edge here, and we're going to move it into the foundation just by 1 click or 1 meter. We're going to click. Grab ourselves a ramp. You see it's facing the wrong way again. Rotate it twice. Press H. down 4, across 4. And I'm going to zoom that into place. And that's it. Now, you do end up with this tiny little step, but vehicles do travel across it quite nicely. The further out you go, the more gradual the turn will be, the less degrees. Now, finally, we're going to look at this method, which has a little gap where you can fill it with a beam or maybe a foundation or something else, but it is fillable. Now, this one, the method's almost the same, but you're doing it from the inside edge this time of the curve, not the outside, because the outside's going to have a gap on it. So we're going to grab ourselves a foundation. Now, don't rush into this one, because there's one extra step. When we click and drag out 3, before clicking a second time, I want you to press H. I want you to nudge into the inside of your curve. For me, it's left. Now I'm going to place that there. I've decided to go 3 out, and the reason for that is because this is 3 wide. To get a 1 meter gap on the outside edge, you'll need to go out the same width as your road. So in this case, the road's width is 3. We've gone out 3 meters. I'm going to remove this foundation. It's much easier without it. I'm going to press 5 and grab myself a little beam, and down here, this is where it would normally be snapping to. We're going to go to the left edge. That's 1 meter across. I'm going to grab myself a ramp. We're going to snap it on the edge of the beam here. I'm going to rotate twice because once again it is the wrong way round. We're going to nudge down 4 and this time right 4. When I now zoom this across to 3, you'll see you're left with a little gap, and that should be perfectly 1 meter. Let's do that one more time. We're going to grab ourselves our foundation here. We're going to zoom it out 3. I'm going to press H. I'm going to go left 1. And I'm going to delete that first foundation. I'm going to grab myself a beam on the outside, on the inside edge to here, it's dead straight, and then go 1 click or 1 meter to the left. Grab ourselves a ramp, rotate it a few times, bring it down 4 and across 4. I'm not going to repeat this over and over again. You can see that I've done this a few times already. To fill the gap, this is pretty easy. On the lower part, but the top end, so you want to be aiming for this ramped foundation here. Click once with your beam, come across to the other side and marry it up with this side. Now before clicking, I want you to press H. I want you to hold the left control by default. I want you to then click once right, and that moves it 0.5 meter. And you can do the same here. Click on the foundation like that, across to this end, press H, control and right like that. Now, of course, this is just using beams. You could, alternatively, use foundations. Let's grab a foundation. We'll just go here. I'm going to hold down what would be E by default. I don't want to use these foundations. I'm going to right click and cycle through till I find tarmac foundation. So you could alternatively, in fact, let's actually get a half. You could alternatively do this if you prefer, if you think that looks a little cleaner when driving up and down roads. I'll leave it for you to have a little play around with. Enjoy these new methods. Thanks for watching this video. If you find this video useful, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions or would like any other building tips, you can drop by my Twitch. I stream 3 to 4 nights a week.